Now I'll show you how soft and delicate they are. For example, this one. Or for example, this one with walnuts. Excellent. Dig in, everyone. I begin preparation by pouring 1 liter of milk into a pot and bringing it to boil. While waiting for the milk to boil, I'll combine all ingredients needed for the filling and then just pour the milk over them. Here I have 400 grams of ground poppy seeds. This is pure ground poppy seeds. This is how you can recognize them. This is a mixture of poppy seeds, semolina, sugar, and all other ingredients that you can buy ready-made. I have 1 kilogram of that. This mixture requires much less sugar and less milk, while pure poppy seeds need more sugar and more milk. Just so you know, when you make your own strudels. Now, I'll mix it a bit. I see I could have used a bigger bowl. I don't usually make this much, but it's a special occasion. So I need a lot. I'll make an indentation. Then add jam. You can add any jam you have. I prefer homemade and this thinner kind. I'll add about 6 heaped tablespoons. I'm adding plum jam. Then I'll add some pomegranate jam too. I gathered all leftover jams, so I'll use them up. About maybe a bit more. That should be enough. Here I have 550 grams of walnuts, and I'll add 250 grams of sugar to them. And I'll add some jam here too. I'll use up this bit of pomegranate. Then I'll add apricot jam. Or is this peach? Now I don't even know. 4 heaped tablespoons. Now I wait for the milk to boil, then pour it over everything. Slowly pouring the milk. I'll pour about 700 milliliters. This is that kind of recipe where I do everything approximately first try. Gently mixing so it doesn't spill out. Otherwise, it would spill out in no time. If your poppy seed filling turns out too thin, add 2 tablespoons of semolina. And you'll save it. If it's too thick, that's easy. Just add more milk. Pour in more milk. I'll make it a bit thinner. As this mixture cools, it will thicken slightly. So I won't make it as thick as needed for spreading yet. I'm making it somewhat thinner. This is the consistency you should get, whether making 1, 5, or 10 strudels. I'll slowly pour the remaining milk into the walnuts. Walnuts need about half the milk that poppy seeds need. With walnuts, it's easy to think you need more milk. But when properly mixed, they release their oils from the warm milk and you don't need more. That's it. This filling is done too, so I'll let it cool. For the dough, in a bowl, I crumble 80 grams of fresh yeast. Or 20 grams of dry, you can use 25. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of flour. Then pour over everything 200 milliliters of warm water. Mix well to dissolve the yeast and let rest 5 to 10 minutes. Let's start kneading. I'll put 2 kilograms and 200 grams of flour in the bowl. I roughly calculated this is what I need for this amount. Soft flour type 400 or 500. Now I've added about half a teaspoon of salt. I don't know where my wooden spoon is. Here it is. Now I'll mix everything. Then add 4 tablespoons of sugar. And mix that in too. Then add 250 grams of melted margarine or butter. A 100 milliliters of oil. 4 whole eggs. Start mixing everything together. Then add this activated yeast. And pour in another 800 milliliters of water. I've poured 1 liter total. You can add grated lemon or orange zest to this dough if you like. When I combine the dough like this and see it's still too soft, I add 100 grams of flour. Usually I add less flour when kneading because it's easier to add flour than to add more water. So I've added another 100 grams and I'll slowly knead the dough. Now that the dough is kneaded, I'll pour some oil over it. About 30 milliliters. Continue kneading until the oil is incorporated. That should be about right. The dough looks like this. I'll smooth it out, cover with a cloth, and let rest in a warm place for about 30 minutes. Now I'll rest a bit. Transfer the risen dough to the work surface. Then knead it lightly here. Like this, tuck the edges into the middle. I won't do this long to keep the dough soft. After kneading, divide into 8 equal parts. Shape each piece into a ball, then place on the table in front of me. No special shaping needed. Just seal the bottoms like this. Roll out each piece of dough to the width of the baking tray. If the dough sticks, feel free to sprinkle flour. easiest is to first press and soften the dough by hand, then roll out with a rolling pin. We've rolled out the dough and now add the filling. This amount of filling is enough for 4 generous strudels. Add 1/4 and spread evenly over the entire surface. Now roll it up. First this bottom part, then this side part, then all together. Place on the baking tray. Tuck it under like this. First one is done. Now just repeat 7 more times until we use up the filling. This is my 4th strudel. I had just enough filling for 4 strudels. Here I put parchment paper between, so the strudels don't stick together. That's why this paper is between them. Not the full length, I didn't have enough. Let them rest just until the oven preheats. About 15 to 20 minutes. If your oven has fast preheat, let the strudels rest longer. Now, rolling out dough for walnut strudels. Exactly the same process as with poppy seed strudel. It's quite warm here. You can see how much the strudels have risen in these 20 minutes. The oven is preheated. I'll poke some holes and bake them. Since I don't have enough walnut filling, I'm missing enough for 1 strudel. I'll spread jam on this one. I've baked the strudels and let them cool completely. Look, I had a mouse. Someone nibbled while they were cooling. Baking time was 35 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. Here's missing another piece. Now just to slice and serve.